Hello, welcome. This is Tabs Exclusive. My name is William Sabule, and today we are in Buguma town here in Rivers State, Nigeria. And we are not just here, we are here to meet the veteran actress and one-time special advisor for youth here in Rivers State, but now a politician vying for the office of the House of Representatives here in Nigeria for Akulga, Saratoru local government or constituency, as it were, here in Rivers State. And she's none other than the delectable Hilda Dokubo. Nice to meet you, madam.
Thank you very much. So maybe we rephrase the last part of it to say part of a movement that is ready to take back Nigeria and hand it back to the people.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
better than saying a politician, because you know we know what politicians are like in Nigeria, and until we change the narrative with what we are introducing, a lot of us are going to continue to say part of a movement.
That's interesting. So I'm going to just go ahead and ask you, why did you choose this path? We've seen in recent times, most of your colleagues, actors and actresses, jump into this very move to get into offices in the country. Why have you also taken that step?
First is you need to know that when you have attained a certain height in life, all the gifts and graces that comes with that attainment is given to you to bless humanity. That's the first thing you need to understand. So for me, this is more like serving my people, because that's what it's about. I have a platform that is not only local and national, it's also international. I have a voice that is very loud, that when I say a thing, it's taken seriously and can become an issue for global discussion and, raises global interest on the subject matter. And all of this is what you need to help your people. And I won't be the first to do it. Ronald Reagan was an actor before he became the president of America. Schwarzenegger, actor before he became the governor of California, the richest state in. And then the present president of Ukraine is also an actor, in fact, a comedian, and his president. So I won't be the first, and those of us in Nigeria who are trying to be part of this movement to take back our country, clean it up, and then rebuild it, are not going to be the first. Neither would we be the last. We're just part of a change system, a structure that is ready to recover Nigeria. Nigeria is almost lost from what we all see. Life is difficult. Our schools are no longer, considered schools. The schools we attended, the public schools we attended, we can't send our children there. The hospitals where some of us were born, nobody goes there anymore because all our qualified doctors are leaving the country. Why? Because, nobody appreciates what they're doing. They don't get value for all the hard work that they put in. So people are looking for greener pastures and disappearing. But I'm going to share a very peculiar story with you, and I'm hoping that you make sense out of it. And anyone else who hears this story will make sense out of it. We live in a 37-room compound. And 36 of these rooms are occupied by different people from different backgrounds. The 37th room is occupied by representatives from the 36 rooms. Their food, their wealth, money, everything that is needed to sustain these 36 rooms is kept in the 37th room. There's an instruction. The instruction is very simple. People in the 37th room must not eat the food put in their care because they come from, the 36 other rooms. So they're supposed to be there and be watchmen and women over the wealth of everyone in the compound. But what are they doing? They're doing what young teenagers used to do when they were in high school, which is, pretend that everything is where it is not. So you give a young person cabin biscuit, they open it from the back, eat up and leave the pack.
Yeah.
They do the same thing to sugar, to everything. So you think they're there, but they're not there. Now, because of this bad behavior, they can't come out to use the restroom. Because if you haven't eaten, what are you pulling out? Nothing, right?
Yeah.
So what do? They convert that 37th room to their toilet, to their bathroom, to their puke room, everything. So they send all their waste there. And then they've been doing this over time. So right now, in all 37 rooms, people are falling ill and some are dying prematurely. And the question is, why are people falling ill? And every time, what we hear is it is the stench from the 37th room that is poisoning everybody in the 36th room. The question now is, who from this 36 rooms, where are the people willing to make the sacrifice to clean up this 37th room so they can continue in serving people?
So I'm going to ask you, what are you going to do differently? Because
this is so simple.
yeah,
I want to run you back into Nollywood. When we all first graduated, there was the Nigerian television industry.
Yeah.
And so if you graduated as a theater arts graduate, the first place that you were likely to work would be the National Theatre, NTA, or broadcasting agency. There were very limited platforms that you could express yourself.
Yeah.
A few of us, and thank God I'm a pioneer, a few of us began what today we made the sacrifice. Nollywood is the only industry that is people initiated, people developed, people grown, and people consumed. And these people are the people of Nigeria.
Yeah.
It is the only industry that got no contribution from its onset from the government. It's the only industry that when we started never asked anybody what state you are from, what tribe you are. What was important to us was, can you do this work? Can you act? And yes, if you could, you were given the opportunity. It was not based on federal character. Nobody cared about that. And that's why that industry grew and was sustained, self-sustained. And today, even Hollywood is watching Nollywood.
Very true.
Isn't that very interesting? So what am I going to do differently? The same thing that we did, which is initiate only things that are people-oriented, things that improves on the lives. Now, I'll give you a very good example. In Asalga, where I come from, which is where you are standing right now, we have a fish farm that has been abandoned, reactivated. That fish farm can employ 4,000 young people. 4,000 young people removed from the market, labor market. That's a lot of numbers. Multiply that by 4, because everyone who's employed obviously would have a father, a mother, a wife, and a child. That's multiplied by 4. Okay, so what are we talking about? All these ideas of creating laws and policies that you cannot implement needs to stop. Nigeria is signatory to a lot of treaties. What's happening with the lawmakers ensuring that they're domiciled into Nigeria, and then people are able to implement. Why do you have policies that are not implementable? Why? So that's what I'm going to do differently. I'm going to work with people, not pay lip service. I'm not, yes, my office is in Abuja because the National Assembly is at Abuja. But it is very important that I'm at touch with my people out here, because I cannot do what does not impact on them positively. So it has to be something that impacts, right? Now, in this same Buguma where you and I are seated, and I could take you there, we have a skill center that has been abandoned. You know, government is supposed to be a continuum, but it is not. In Nigeria, once the last administration is not part of your administration, everything that administration has done is abandoned, right? Now, so the question to ask me would be, there are only 3 job descriptions for members of the House of Rep. One is representation, representing your people, and in the way that my people say it, one use our mouths to speak, right? Representation. The second one that you have to do is hold the executive accountable. If you don't hold the executive accountable, your people may not get anything from the government. Because all the promises that are made, it is your responsibility as member of the legislature to ensure that those promises are kept through the policies and through laws.
Yeah. So I'm going to come to your party, the Labour Party. It's been said in many climes that the Labour Party is somewhat a new bee on the block. And then looking at, even while driving down here to your place, we noticed that there are a lot more presence of, the PDP, the APC, but not the Labour Party. So how are you going to manage to get to that feat that you plan to in a party as the Labour Party that has been described not to even have a structure?
Well, what is structure really? If we go into that, and what structure are they talking about? Structure is individuals, but if you want to look at the conspiratory structure that the older political system is talking about, which I will deal with. But let's answer your question. Did you also notice that the Labour Party people were doing door-to-door?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So you could block where you want. That's why we say we're a movement. We're a force. Now, if you look at the membership of the Labour Party, and that's why I laugh when they say they have no structure. The Labour Party is an activism-based party. Don't forget, it was not registered by a group of politicians. It was registered by all working Nigerians, which is the Labour Congress, all trade unions, which is the NTC, what do you call it?
TUC.
TUC, Pengasin, Nupeng. So, nicely put, working Nigerians are a Labour Party, right? And you say they don't have structure. How can they not have structure? So you're probably saying they don't have candidates in those places because up until now, a lot of people did not pay attention to what was happening in the political space. For everybody, it's politicians. Let them do. You know what I told you about the 37th room?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a dirty space. I don't want to go there. I don't want to be part of cleaning it up. I don't want... No. The place is smelling. It's the stench coming from there, blah, blah, blah. But if we don't clean that room up, and that's exactly what Labour Party is about to do. It's working Nigerians. Working Nigerians use their hands. They work. Okay, so that's what it is.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to take a short break right now. When we come back, we're going to continue with Hilda Dokubo on TAV Exclusive. You stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Hey there, are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
All right, you're very much welcome back to the program TAV Exclusive. My name is William Sabule, and we're still here with the veteran actress, Hilda Dokubo. All right, Ma, let me come back to you. This time I'm going to be asking you about your principal, Peter Obi. It's been projected that Peter Obi is going to win in most of the city centers across the nation. Akulga, Asalga Federal Constituency is not one of those city centers. How do you hope to make that happen for you and, of course, your principal, Peter Obi?
Well, I'm doing what every human being who has some good reasoning will do, which is keep campaigning for him, keep projecting him, as I do my own campaigns as well, because campaigning for Hilda is the same as campaigning for Obi. But, you know, Obi is almost like, is a wave. Let me not call it almost. There are a lot of people across parties who are obedient. Yet they are in every party, and they will tell you. And they're in this town. They're in every small community that you see. They may not be as active as the ones in the city center, because in the city center you have a lot more younger people, you have platforms that can be used. And I laugh when they say, oh, in communities there you won't find a lot of the people that we're talking about in the communities don't use phones. I wish I can take you to my grandmother's place. You will see her phone is both a radio and TV and everything. First thing in the morning, almost like, this northerners who carry their radio like that. My grandma is the same. She keeps it next to her and she listens to it. That same phone has her Facebook and Instagram. Yes, she may have very few followers, but these are on the timeline. And she's scrolling through and looking at them and reading and listening to the videos and all of that. So people fool themselves thinking that out here you won't find people who, they may not have all that money to spend on being as vibrant as the younger ones, but they are here. And I can assure you that in here, as long as we keep reminding them, as long as we keep saying the things we're saying, as long as they keep seeing you as a good example, they're going to be obediently useful to this country.
That's interesting. So what's your opinion about developmental projects scattered around, the capital of the state, mostly parts of the capital, and maybe a few around other local governments? What is your opinion about, any developmental project here in your constituency, aside the Trans-Calabari road project? I'm not aware of any other project. What's your opinion about that?
How did your car feel when you were driving here? How many times did it complain? I'm sure if your car had to talk, car would have said, my friend, why did you put me here? So those are some of the things that we have to go through to be here. We have had to call a few times to say, we hear this is a Trunk A road. Trunk A road means it's a federal road. We have a member of the House, both federal and Senate, and we don't know why they cannot, which is holding the executive accountable, neglecting the mandate of your office. That's what they're doing, because if they use the mandate of that office, they should be able to pull federal interest to that road and get it repaired, right? Get it repaired. But no, they're not doing that. Why? Because they think that all of us here may not have voices, but I have a voice and I'll use my voice. One thing that you should know about conventional politicians is that they are about photo ops. They like pictures. They like videos. They like to be seen as doing something when in truth they're not doing anything, which is why you will see stones on the road and they will tell you this project was commissioned by this, that. Then you hear that the cost of fixing that stone alone is 2 billion. A former governor left us pillars that each pillar is 2 billion, right? So you now start wondering, how much is the road really if the pillar alone is 2 billion, right? So it's just that photo ops thing, and that's what we're trying to say. No, we can't keep doing this. We have to move from just being consumers. We have to, everything about us is important. Everything. It's so sad that even toothpick, growing up as a child, my mom used to say, get the palm front, clean it up, sharpen it, and it will make toothpick. Yeah. But today, even brooms, we don't make with the palm fronts anymore. I don't even know what we make. Very soon, they'll tell us our broom was imported from Ghana. Very soon. So it's that neglect. I don't want to call it oversight, because it's done deliberately. Because that's the only way some people find the window to embezzle. That's just it. But it causes further poverty, because it impoverishes the people, it impoverishes the region, it impoverishes even the ones that are doing all this impoverishment, because for how long? But Peter Obi says, let's move away from just being a consumer nation. We have enough in this country to feed everyone, right? There are 36 rooms here. Each room has its peculiarity. Yeah. Imagine him going up north and saying, do you know, if we did only half of what Malaysia is doing, we will feed ourselves. I just told you about fishing here. Yeah. With this fishing I'm talking about is not catfish. I'm talking about saltwater fish because the water is salt. But it's been abandoned. So we're losing everything. We're losing money and all of that. And he's saying, let's move from consumption to production. And if we can do that, backed with good policies and laws, this country will become a beautiful place. And I can't wait. I'm just praying. Let him win in the cities. Let him win in the villages. Let him win in the holes, if there are any valleys and caves and everywhere. Let him just win. Let him just win.
Do you see him winning?
Does, yes.
Do you see him winning?
Well, my hopeful mind sees him winning because I'm a very hopeful person. Sees him winning. But if it goes otherwise, it would be nice for Nigerians to know that they will have a rocky, very sad next 4 years. We hope not. We pray not. Because how much did you buy fuel for?
400.
Oh, congratulations. Congratulations. So we're gradually trying to catch up with Saudi Arabia because our president had said, oh, Saudi Arabia has oil and fuel is more expensive. So but except that he forgot that the roads at Saudi Arabia are good and the hospitals work and schools work and their president does not need to come to Nigeria for medical tourism. He forgot that part, but it's okay. We can catch up. We know how in Nigeria to catch up with all the wrong things. So they sneeze anywhere else in the world and we catch fever. Ukraine and Russia are fighting. The rest of the world is making profit, but Nigeria is suffering. We have refineries that don't work. Oh, God. What do we even have that works, really? The ports in Port Harcourt don't work. Warri don't work. Calabar don't work. Where are we? Where, really? So I pray that we win. I look forward to us winning so that people can see what proper governance, real leadership means. That's it. But if we choose to, let me give you an example. Here where we are, our representative has been on for 2 terms, which is 8 years.
Yeah.
Ask even the children. Nobody knows where she is. Nobody sees her. Nothing. But this Christmas, through a proxy, she has sent money to the wards and sent money to houses. Are you buying people? What are you trying to say? For 4 years, you didn't show your face. You didn't talk to anybody. You didn't feel anybody. Nobody felt you. And then just because there's election and you want to do what? Buy their votes, buy their conscience, buy their reason. What do you want to do? I'm glad people already know that we don't even have it to give it. And we don't even have a governor who will steal to give us. And we don't want stolen money. So we won't give it. But we will show you what we're capable of doing. Yeah. And that we will not give you money to buy your votes does not mean that we will be insensitive to the plight of certain people. Right? There's a lot of hunger. Go around and you will understand what I mean. There's a lot of hunger, but nobody should buy anybody.
Thank you very much. Lastly, I'm going to ask you this. PVC collections have begun since early December. What have you been saying to young people around here, people that have been able to register in terms of collection and also getting involved in the electioneering process leading up to your election and, of course, your principal to Peter Obi?
Oh, we've been asking people to go. We've been able to get people, you know, every platform that I have used to create that awareness for people to go and pick up their PVC. Same thing I did during the registration, trying to motivate people to go and get registered. It's the same thing we're doing with people picking up. We're even speaking to people who are not registered voters but are above 18 to say, listen, you can serve. You can serve as an agent. You can serve as a canvasser. You can serve, you know, as a collection officer trying to find out the number of people within a given place. Maybe you go into a ward, Ward 3, Ward 4, you should be able to give us the number of people who are registered voters there. So it gives us an idea of how many people we need to convince to vote for us and all of that. And yes, people are doing that. So we have a lot of people who are going around and saying to people, you know, you need to go and get your PVC.
So has the
and
collection process been very
fair
smooth,
in Buguma? Yeah. Yes, it has. As we speak right now, I think they're even walking around the wards trying to give people their PVCs.
That's very interesting because in the city, it's a different story.
No.
And the rush and all of that. All right, I want to thank you so much for giving us your time here on TAV Exclusive. Thank you so much and wish you all the best as you journey to the House of Representatives.
I need that prayer. I need it. I need everything.
And to our viewers, we want to thank you for staying with us on TAV Exclusive. Make sure to join us next time. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, do well to subscribe to our channel. We have very much interesting programs lined up for you here on TAV TV. So see you next time on TAV Exclusive. My name is William Sabule.